those of the hosts and guests. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Hello.
Hello.
We are Carolyn and Jocelyn, Moms for Justice. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
That's what it is. It's delayed. I'm checking things out on another computer here, and I'm like, that's why it wasn't on right away. But anyway, how is everybody? How are you?
Good. I had a good weekend. How about you?
It was a very crazy week with my kids and lots going on in my house. Yeah, so,
All right.
but everything's been good for you?
We could talk about that later, I guess.
We'll chit chat later because nobody wants to hear about that. Okay,
Yeah.
So today we're talking about Nicolae Miu. So I'm going to give a quick summary on the case. It's super quick, and then we'll go through some of the evidence, and we'll do like a timeline. So Nicolae Miu is Romanian national, was involved in a tragic incident known as the Apple River stabbing, which took place on July 1st, 2023 in Wisconsin. Miu was tried and convicted after he stabbed 5 people. He did kill 17-year-old Isaac Schumann, and he injured the 4 others. The victims ranged in age from 17 to 24, and they were from Wisconsin and Minnesota. He fled the scene afterwards, threw his knife away on the riverbank, and returned to his group of friends and said nothing to them about it. He was later apprehended and questioned by the police at the end of the river, denying that he knew anything about it. So that is the summary of the case, but there's so much more to it because the majority of the crime is caught on video. What do you think of that?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. So, as kids record everything they do, I believe it first started out, they were actually bullying him. So it's interesting to see this video and I didn't see all of it. Oh,
you did not. And I'm
Hey,
glad you
babe.
didn't see it. It's good that I saw it and you didn't see it because I want to see what you're going to say. But
right. So, yeah, I listened to it during the day. So I didn't get to see any video, but listening to it was enough, for me.
Yeah. And by the way, viewer discretion advised. It's really, really brutal, and it's not for anybody under 18, let alone anybody over 18, because it's pretty ugly. But anyway, so we'll start right off the bat. Let me see. No, we'll do both of us. Okay, so here's a picture of one of the groups. Okay, and this is Nicolae Miu's group. His wife is
Point
in
him
that.
out, though.
What's that?
Can you point him out?
Yeah.
Point him out.
Do you see right here? See my cursor? Do you
No.
see my cursor? Oh, you don't. Okay, he's the one. He's 4th from the left, and he's got like his shirt open, and he's got like a drink in his hand and sunglasses on. See him?
Right.
I'm
Yeah, I
surprised
see him
you
now.
don't see my cursor there. Okay. So anyway, that's his group. His wife is there. I want to say, I don't recognize. I've seen her on the trial, but I don't recognize her there. And they're friends mostly from her work, I believe. So they all went out on the Apple River on the weekend. It is actually known for a place to go party, and they decided just to go out together as friends and to have drinks. Everybody is always drinking out on Apple River. Okay.
Right. Yeah, it is a known thing.
Yeah, and what's important to know is there's 3 groups of tubers here because they're all on tubes floating down this river, okay? There's 3 groups. You've got Nicolae Miu's group, which is what you see in the picture. Then there's a group of teenagers around 17, 18, maybe there's a 16-year-old in there, I don't know. They're by themselves. And then there's a 3rd group that are a little bit older, like 20-something, and a few adults with them. And they're partying also in a separate group. All of them are drinking to beyond intoxication, and that was proved later that they're all beyond, their blood showed beyond intoxication. There's even some
the teenagers.
and also the other group. The other two,
Yeah.
they're all drinking, no doubt about it. All three tuber
Right.
groups are drinking. The other two, the younger ones, I'm going to say the teenagers and the 20-somethings, okay? The teenagers and the 20-somethings are all drunk, and the 20-somethings, I believe, are smoking pot and stuff like that. So anyway, they make their way down the river, right? They're all separate groups. And
Oh, by the way, the wife is on the tube.
the wife
that's
is
from
on her
Angela.
own tube. The
Yeah,
wife is
she's on the tube in the picture.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Let me just switch
yeah.
back here for a second because I'll play the
Yeah.
video really soon, but I just wanted to go through this one thing. So, Nicolae Miu's group is, probably halfway through their little journey on the river. And one of his friends that he's with is missing his phone. And he thinks that it fell back by where the teenagers are. So Nicolae Miu decides to help him out and go look. Now, he has a snorkel with him and goggles because he likes to look for jewelry. So he brings a snorkel with him. And he offered to go back and figured, well, I'll just look for jewelry, I guess, on the way. So he heads on back there towards the teenagers. And he gets closer and he's got these bulky glasses on and this snorkel, and he's looking in the water and everything, and the teenagers think this is really hilarious, and they're drunk and they begin to kind of heckle at him, and say, oh, you're here looking under the water to see girls, under the water, and you're a pedo, and they start yelling and screaming at him. Now, this one guy that's with the teenagers is Jawan Cockfield. He begins filming at that point. And he's looking for the phone, but the kids don't know that. I don't, because he can't speak. He speaks like broken English, but he can speak English. So anyway, he begins filming it. The teenagers start screaming and yelling and laughing and carrying on at him. And two of the girls from the 20-something group see this, and they start making their way over. Their hands are full. One's got drinks in one hand. You've got their sunglasses and their phone, they're vaping. And they start heading over to see what's going on. And they almost just add to it all. And the next thing you know, the guy is surrounded completely by all of them. And more from the 20-something group is coming over, and he's completely surrounded, and he's blocked. Now,
Well, actually, it was 6 kids on the tube, and then
Right.
2 people came over.
no, and then others came over as well afterwards.
Right,
But
right,
just at
right.
one point in the middle of this, they're like, get out of here, go away. And he does turn around and start walking away. Okay. But for whatever reason, he comes back towards them, and then that's when he gets surrounded. So I apologize if I don't have that part right. Hi. Just want to say hello. His wife is in the tube. Okay. Hi, Gina. Okay, so he does make his way back. So when he comes back, that is when he is completely surrounded. So I'm going to stop right now, and I'm just going to go on ahead and show you guys the video. I hope you guys heard the beginning of this, because I'm going to show you guys the video.
Viewer discretion. Yeah.
Viewer discretion. It's really, really disturbing. I will go back and slow it down if I have to and show you different areas, but let's just watch it one time through, okay? And here we go. Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me move it on over. There it is.
What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Get away from us! What? What's going on with y'all homie? He's on camera. Scripting. He's on 4K. Yo, the new iPhone got that good quality. What do you say? Yeah, what the hell? Who is this? Yes. Further culture. Who is that? Look at the culture. Who is that? Who the hell is this?
Go. It doesn't matter.
He said he was looking for little girl. He said he was looking for little girl.
You're looking for a little girl?
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
Weirded us out. I even have that part on camera. Did I?
Some young ass kid.
What the hell is this guy's problem, bro? We're trying to have fun. Is he gonna close you? He's gonna claim you. We don't want this motherfucker. Let him on camera. Let him on camera. He on camera. Oh God. Oh God, he on camera. Oh God, he on camera. He ain't a woman? He ain't a woman? You ain't a woman. He ain't a woman. You got him. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? He's dying. He's dying, bro. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are we serious? Is this real? Oh my God. Who is that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this real? Is this real? Oh my God. Oh my God, what the fuck? Is this real? Wait, that's not Bike! That's not Bike! That's not Bike! That's not Bike! That's not Isaac! Oh my God!
Okay,
Oh my God!
that's the whole video.
So
Okay, I'm
can I just
moving
say,
back over.
since I was listening to it, the trial, it's actually nice to see the video tied in. But basically, supposedly, when the women come over, so there was the 6 boys, and he had practically ran as best as he could in the water. He ran over to them because he saw the phone, and he thought maybe they picked up his friend's phone. So he
That's
went
right.
after to look at the phone. Meanwhile, drops his goggles, whatever, and then they start making fun of him.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
and just-
that's the reason why.
Well, right there, I just wanted to say that a lot of people don't even consider that I think that he could have said, I'm looking for a phone, and the kids would have been like, oh, he had a phone that might have looked similar to that, and then he drops it, and he's like trying to get it, and he's not trying to have any fights with him, he's trying to get the phone back. So
Right.
like he jumps towards the tube to try to reach in and grab the phone. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's what made, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I wanted to make sure that I got that out at that time. But the first thing I thought of when I saw that, because I've seen the video several times, the first thing I thought of was, they're not laughing now. That was my first feeling when I watched. I was like, because I was so disgusted. Let's get this out on the table. The behavior is disgusting. Right. And I immediately thought, oh, the nerve of you. Like, oh, now you're all upset, but you weren't upset a couple minutes ago when you were like ripping up on this man, making fun of him, harassing him, completely surrounding him. So I want to say that. But
so what happened was, that's the reason why the 2 girls had walked over there, because they were trying to get him to leave as well, to leave the boys alone. So basically, the woman touched his right shoulder, and that's when he turned around and faced her, and that's when he hit her, because he hit her first. He's the first one to throw a punch.
Where do you see where do you see a punch or a hit?
Well, I don't know. It was in trial. So he does say that, and there's been testimony that he hit the girl. He hit the blonde lady.
Right. There's also, by the way, testimony that he did not.
Okay. So I didn't see that one. I didn't get to that part.
So all the original interviews before the trial, they never mentioned a punch. One guy in particular, his name is AJ Martin. He's a friend of, not AJ Martin. Yeah. Wait a minute. Is it AJ Martin? Anthony Carlson. He admitted on the stand that she was never punched. And I have an interview of him. I'll play it later. But I have an interview with him the day of the incident where he said that it looked like she slapped him. And that's because the two girls, what I see is the two girls were in his face with their hands in their face. And he might have gone like that and maybe knocked into her. And then they were like, here's our opportunity. Here's our opportunity to attack. Okay.
And that's what they did.
And not one person said she was punched on the day of the incident or during all their police interviews. They all flipped and changed and like said on the stand that it was a punch only later.
That's true. One of the guys, the guy who died, it's one of his best friends that had testified. He said that during his testimony that day that he saw a slap, and then on trial he said on the stand he said it was a punch. So yeah.
But
probably. Look at that thumbs up.
Wait, what? There's a video of him hitting her? Oh, he's saying it like that's preposterous, right? No, there's no video. You just saw the video. You don't. First of all, if he hit her or if he didn't, it's not in the video, y'all. It's not. I've looked. It's not there. Everybody admits it's not seen on the video. They're just going by testimony now. Now, what you need to know is that the testimony at trial, every one of these kids changed their story. They had a friend that died terribly. He was disemboweled. Isaac was disemboweled. Actually, and also AJ Martin, he grabbed the guy first and like as he was grabbing him, didn't know that he had a knife in his hand and almost plunged into the knife himself. So it was kind of a, two-part situation there. It wasn't, and then I guess the knife kind of went up because he's like plunging in, and as he backs out, the knife goes up to the middle, and he was literally holding his intestines. So he was the one that was disemboweled, not Isaac, right? Isaac was just terribly stabbed and killed. Dante Carlson got stabbed. Madison Cohen did not. And Riley Madison. They were all from the 20-something group. Okay.
Right.
So, there is nothing on that video at all showing a punch. So we have to go by the testimony. And my feeling is the freshest, most truthful information is always going to come from the police interviews on the day of the actual incident. And all of them changed. And I'll show you. I can show you some of this stuff where they're saying that. Now, I understand there's a lot of people that are, this is a 17-year-old boy. I get it. You know what I mean? Nobody deserved to die that day. And I feel terrible for his family, for his mother. But, what role did they play in this? I mean, they instigated a lot. It's very obvious, the instigation in the video. And a lot of this goes down to parenting too. I personally think parenting plays a big role in how these kids are acting.
If my kids ever bullied anybody, let alone somebody of elder age as him, he's like 50 something and a foreigner, like that would just never happen.
Right. Riley was between Maddie and Miu, so he couldn't have punched Maddie or slapped or pushed. Everyone has a different story. Yes, you're right. Everybody does have a different story. I have to watch the case. Did not have time, but we'll watch today. Let's see. Angel says there is video of Maddie and Riley pushing Miu on his chest and arms. That's true. You can see them getting all up in his face. In fact, he's in almost of a chokehold by Isaac at one point, and I have still shots. Let's look at a couple of them. Hold on. I'm trying to tend to the comments at the same time. So if I don't, I will get back to you. I
Angela
promise.
says, also, no one yelled he hit a woman until after Miu was punched, slapped, and pushed down into the river twice.
Yeah.
Not when they claim Maddie got hit.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think these boys are smart enough to say that.
All right. Here is I'm going to show you some still shots, okay? So this is him with the snorkel in his mouth. You can see he's got on his mind. He's reaching in to grab something. It doesn't look like he's going after one of these
He's
kids.
reaching to grab the phone. This is the part where he went to go get the phone.
Right. Okay. So let me play that. Okay, so this is just another shot, I think, from the angle of, okay, so you can see all the kids around them. Look at the smiles on their faces. They're enjoying this. They love it. He looks like fight or flight to me. Fight or flight is, I don't know, you know, I'm not quite sure. You're not thinking right when you're in fight or flight. You're like, I'm on guard, ready to protect myself.
I mean, I think he looks like nervous. You know what I mean? He looks a little like not scared nervous, but like just unknown nervous, like unknown.
Absolutely. And, you know, with him being not speaking well English, that even like some people criticize him for having this little smile on his face. Well, I look at it more like I'm in an awkward, embarrassing situation I don't know how to get out of. And I'm also really afraid. And should I be afraid of these kids? I don't know. But yeah. Okay, so there's that shot. And then, okay, look.
Look how close they are to him.
They're right up in his face. They're right up in his face. And then we got, okay, so this is just a shot of he turned around when the incident happened and everybody was stabbed. He did take off and he went over to the riverbank and threw his knife on the side there and then went back to his tubing friends and never told them a thing about it.
Right. And that's the downfall. Like, you know, oh, what's that?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, no, we'll talk about that. Okay, so it's just another shot of them yelling at him, and he's got the knife in his right hand. Okay?
So he stabbed somebody already at this point.
Blood. Yeah. Riley had been stabbed, I believe. That's the girl right there in the middle.
The blonde, right?
Yeah, the blonde. Okay, I'm just going to get through these still shots real quick, and then nothing much to show there. Okay,
where's the kid that? Where's the kid that actually died?
Well, hold on. Oh. Well, that's AJ, right? Okay, look. All right, look, guys. Look. This is Isaac, the one who died. You can't see him, but it was proven in court that that's who this is. And look at on the right. They've got their hands around his neck, okay, in a chokehold. Any normal person would feel that they would need to protect himself, right? Am I right?
Right. Yeah. You know, they didn't say that in court.
Yeah, they did, Gina. They said, oh, you're looking for little girls. I'm going to play the video again. So give me a second. I just want to get through the rest of these. See if there's anything else before. Hang on, I'm sorry if I'm being slow. Okay, and then that's a picture of Isaac, okay? All right, so let me go back so we can see our faces again. Hi. Okay, so just to look at some of the comments. Did the boys scream? He said he was, yeah, I answered that. They taunted him to a boiling point. Sad situation. Yes. So
when they first came up upon Nicolae, they started, you know, cackling at him, and then they did ask, what are you doing? They couldn't really quite hear what he said, but he said something looking for a girl. Like that's what they claimed that he said.
You're looking for little girls. You're looking for little girls.
And that's when they started cackling that, right?
Right.
But they said that he replied, but it obviously broken English from a far away. It could have sounded like anything.
All right, I'm going to play the video again because everybody wants to see the video again. Horrible video. I'm so sorry. Just don't look if you don't want to see it again. Okay, so I feel in the very beginning of this video, the first thing you see is him going for the that phone.
Right.
Okay.
He's on camera. Guys, let's
I didn't go back enough. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting better.
Get away from us.
What? I'm not. Okay. Not far enough, apparently. I just don't want to go. Okay.
See, this is when he runs up to them. That's when they try to get out.
Okay. He's reaching in to grab the phone, right?
Right.
We up. What are you talking about?
Confused.
What the hell are you talking about?
He doesn't seem interested in them. He's just looking for that phone.
Get away from us.
What?
And he's ignoring them because he just wants the
What's wrong with
phone.
y'all homie? He's on camera.
Guys, let's
Scripting.
He starts walking away.
Yo, the new iPhone got that good quality. What did you say?
Honestly,
Really?
if
Stop
those
right there.
20-year-olds never interrupted, he was walking away, and then the 20-year-olds walk up to him,
Yeah, they do.
and that's
They're
how
not
it kept
stopping.
on going.
All right,
Yeah.
so let me say this. So at this point, he's frustrated. He's starting to walk away. And I think the reason why he turned around is like, no, I'm getting my friend's phone. Any normal guy would do that. And he has every right. A lot of people say that, by him turning around, that means he's now the instigator. It's a free country. He's allowed to turn around and go back and look for his phone, people. His friend's phone, right? That's still, he's not committing a crime by turning around and coming back. I mean, if you lost, ladies, if you lost a diamond earring in the water, you would be like, I'm not going to let these people scream and yell at me and intimidate me. I'm going back there to get my diamond earring or my engagement ring or whatever fell in the water, right? That's what I would do. So
I mean, it's a very valid point, but the situation was too intense. Why would you even put yourself in that situation?
Because he was a man and he probably figured, forget these crazy kids. He probably, he's old school. He was 54 years old.
He's also older and should know, like, hang out on the side, wait for them to float past them, and then go back to the spot. I don't know. I just feel like...
But still, even though that he didn't, and he still turned around and walked back, it's a free country to go back to a public river and go look for his phone.
Yeah,
so
no, that's true.
To me, that is not instigating what happened at all. He's still protecting himself at the point that these girls walk up to him and start getting in his face. That's the way I look at it. And the people on the other end keep saying, no, he should have walked away and never turned around and came back. And once he came back, he was now the one, like, instigating the whole thing. And I disagree with that. So, all right, let me play some more.
Yeah, what the hell? Who is this? Yes. For the culture. Who is that? For the culture.
For the culture. I mean, really? You know why they're saying that, right?
No.
This used to justify or like frame their actions as part of a social culture thing, just like get it on. What I'm perceiving it as is for the culture. Let's get it out there like TikTok does, and let's get this because he's videoing, right? So he's saying let's do it for the culture. So he's trying to get something good on video because that's what it's about today, right?
Right.
What do you think, Angel?
Like instigating it. You're saying like
For
he's
the culture.
instigating it.
Absolutely instigating it. That's saying, let's make this video great. So that's what he means by for the culture. Hi, Mom.
Right.
My mom's on.
Oh, hey.
After the teens start to harass him, he tries to walk away. He does. But you know what? He has every right
I'm thinking
to go back and look for his phone. That's what I
those two
think.
girls stopped him, and that's when he was like, you know what? I'm going to go back.
Right. Okay. So I'm continuing. Here we go. Now here comes, this is Madison Cohen and Riley, her friend Riley, and then Dante is their friend also. They eventually joined Riley Madison. Okay. And they love this, that this other group is getting involved.
Who
They're
is
loving
that?
it.
Who the hell is this?
Go. It doesn't matter.
He's looking for little girls.
He's looking for little girls.
Looking for little girls.
You're looking for little girls.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
See, she touches his left arm. Did you see that?
Yep.
Rewind it. So he doesn't touch anybody at first.
Nope. Right about there. All right, right about here.
We're out of out.
There you go. Doesn't matter. It's
I
there.
didn't go back far enough.
No, that's all right.
Well, no, I'll go back.
girl! He said he was looking for little girls!
You're looking for little girls?
Yeah!
That's exactly what he said.
Right there.
Weird
Yeah.
us out! I even have that part on camera, did I?
Some young ass kid.
What the hell is this guy's problem, bro?
They love it.
We're trying to have fun. He's gonna claim you?
Okay, so
He's gonna claim you! We don't want this motherfucker!
But, you know,
okay, at this point, he's completely surrounded and now has every right. He carried a knife with him because he used it for the tying the tubes together at the river with his friends earlier. So he had
Right,
the knife
right.
on him. So at this point, you need to know that he does have his hand on the knife. It's in his right hand. Okay?
it's in his right pocket right now.
Right. but
Right?
I believe it might be in his hand already. Pretty sure it's in his hand already. And they don't see it. He has it in his hand for a while before. Look at this. Okay, so now
Oh,
at
there,
that
was the
point
knife
is where
right
the
there.
hit happens that they're saying, right? Because when you go
You're
back,
right.
that's when he gets pushed down. All right, he has a knife. There, he's stabbing somebody right there. And we didn't see the other stab, I guess. And it moves so fast.
It does move really fast. I mean, I think he stabs the first person when he was down.
Yeah, probably. But they have still
But
shots.
he ends up stabbing like 5 people. How many people did he stab?
He stabbed
5, right?
5 people. Isaac Schumann died, and then he stabbed 4 and 3. I have Dante,
Yeah, 3
Riley,
were injured.
and AJ Martin, and then Isaac died.
Right.
So anyway, his biggest mistake. Let's talk about this for a little bit. I'll switch back. His biggest mistake is he took off, threw the knife, and got back on a tube, and all of his party that he was with said they didn't know that anything had happened. He just acted like
very
he
normal.
was just and I think they were even on the river for another 30 or 40 minutes before they got to the end, and there was police there because by this point police had been called. There were 2 people laying on the side waiting for the ambulance and EMTs to, go down the hill to get to them. I know Madison and Riley they got up to the police in time, at a decent amount of time. So he's questioned, and I have that, and it makes him look really bad. Like, right, they put him in a car because he was the description. Why do I have this picture up here?
Then, I mean, he definitely acts like he doesn't know what's going on.
I know. Okay.
So
Here he is in the car. Okay.
It could
the
be
police put him in a car.
form of shock.
Yeah.
Nicolae Miu, handcuffed, waiting in a squad.
Still doing all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going
Temperature? Temperature's okay in here?
on? Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody,
All
I hear somebody got stabbed,
right.
and I fit the description.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Yep. So we're working.
Sandra Miu says she and her ex-husband were on the Apple River with 8 friends the day the stabbings took place. She also explained why Miu had a knife that day.
He only did to cut the strings on the tubes.
And is that what he brought it for, to cut the string?
Yes.
She says Miu also had the snorkel with him because she explained how people often lose their jewelry in the cold water when their fingers shrink. He had the snorkel with him to look for missing jewelry and later used it to look for a cell phone one of their friends dropped in the river.
And was Nicolae looking for the phone?
Yes.
She also explained how Miu had a quadruple bypass 4 years ago and didn't feel as strong as he used to. When she saw him surrounded by a group of younger people, she sent 2 of their friends to go and check on him.
I wanted him safe. I wanted him back.
3 of the victims also spoke in court, sharing details and pictures of their horrific injuries.
Riley, what are we seeing in this photo?
That is, the bigger one is the stab wound.
And how about in this one?
This is the one where they had to cut me open to get my stomach put back in. I told Q that I felt like I was dying because I just was losing, like I was losing so much blood, and every time I'd walk, I just felt like I was getting weaker and weaker.
Alexander Martin also showed his scar in court and the fear he felt after being stabbed.
My stomach was open and my intestines were in my hands.
The moment he was stabbed was actually captured in this video. This freeze frame is just moments before the blade pierced into his chest.
Telling Tony that I was going to die, and him telling me I was going to be fine, and that I wasn't.
Just down, now he's getting up.
100%, I'm going to die today. Then I remember waking up in the hospital with a breathing tube and my parents looking at me.
Okay, so here's a little bit of him testifying.
What do you believe would have happened to you had you not used your knife?
I would have died. I believe I would have been killed that day.
So you felt like you could stab folks who were not attacking you at the moment that you stabbed them?
Objection.
Today.
Okay, so that is like the biggest bunch of BS I ever heard. I mean, that whole situation was hostile, and so yes. I guess my question to you is like, even though I think the reason to go back to when he's in the car and he denies all involvement, I think that would be typical of somebody that is in shock, like we're all saying, right? He's in shock.
I do.
He's scared.
I think so too.
He's really scared, and
I mean, so during his verdict, the judge was saying just a little stuff about his background. So he's never been convicted of anything. He's never been charged of anything.
No.
You know, he has a clean record. He's an upstanding citizen. He's actually an engineer. I mean, and he has no, and he does, so he was saying like he does not need to go to be reformed or anything like that. That this is just, you know, a bad situation, you know, and a bad day. Anyway, but the thing is like, you know, if you pulled out a gun, I think if you had a gun, it's more like intent to kill, right? I think a knife but the problem with me is that he did not once say, back away, I have a knife. You know what I mean? And he stabbed repeatedly. So, I mean, that's what I don't, it's hard for me to wrap my head around.
All right, I have two things to say about that. And first of all, on your comment about the gun, it doesn't matter. A weapon is there to protect you. It doesn't matter if it's a gun or a knife. It doesn't matter. If somebody's attacking you and threatening your life, it doesn't matter if you have a gun or knife. I don't think there's any difference. Secondly, he had broken English. So I think that combined with shock and not thinking you know, when you have all these people in your face screaming at you and attacking you, I mean, you get lost for words. And then on top of it, you have broken English.
But he doesn't show the gun. You can just show it.
Why should he have to? Why should
he
have to? Sometimes,
to make them back up. If you're in fear of your life and you're scared, then you show your knife and you start back and you try to back away for them to leave you. But he doesn't show it to them. He just starts stabbing. That's the problem.
So they asked him, why didn't you announce that you had the knife? And he said, because that would have only made them worse. And I was holding back, hoping I wouldn't have to use it. And his point was, if I had showed him the knife, then they all would have pounced at once. And that's why I was holding out to let them even know I had the knife. So that makes sense to me. Does that?
No, I mean, I understand. I think it makes sense in his mind. I just don't think that's why I agreed with the verdict, because I do believe he didn't have to show force in that way. I think he could have been more conservative and shown the weapon to make them stop. He used the weapon to make them stop, but he did nothing else to make them stop.
Okay. How about
And he used it repeatedly, not just once. He didn't stab one person and walk away, you know.
But here's the thing. How are you to know what you would feel like in that situation? You're not it's so easy for all of us to go, well, I think he should have done this. You don't know what it's like to feel your life is threatened and you're standing there and you've got all these young, strong, robust 17-year-olds, 20-somethings are coming over. They're all drunk and high. You have you're by yourself. Your group is far away. I mean, they knew a commotion was going on, but they couldn't see anything. That's how far away they were.
But he also did not walk away. Like he didn't. So they surround him. Did he even try? He didn't even try to walk between any of them to move away. He just stood there.
There's
and
no time.
You know, went from left. No, the time is to move away. He made no other attempt other than the first time to move away.
No, we could all
He
sit
made no
here
other
and say,
attempt.
you should have done this, you should have done that. When everything's happening that fast, you don't always think. You can't think that fast. You're like, oh my gosh, my life is threatened. Look, there is no such thing as warnings when you're in fear for your life or somebody else.
Right, but when you are in fear for somebody, you remove yourself from the situation. He did not once try to remove himself from the situation, other than the first time, and then those two girls came over to him, and then from that point on, he didn't remove himself at all. He didn't even make an attempt to remove himself.
He did get away from them and then went back. Was it worth it? Is my point. I don't think at the point that he walked away and turned around and came back, he thought for a second it would end up being a complete mob mentality like that. I think he just wanted to go back and look for his phone. And most men, I know my husband, he would be like, going to get my phone. That's the way my husband would be. He'd be like, nobody's going to stop me from getting my phone. You know?
Yeah.
He would go. And then
I can
if he
understand
gets
that mentality
surrounded,
for the
that's
first
his
time.
fault. That's his fault because he gets surrounded and is threatened and they're touching him and they're in his face. And that's his fault because he turned around.
I didn't say it's his fault. What I'm saying is that he's defending himself on the stand by saying he felt fear. And so, you know what? Then why not remove yourself? He didn't make any movement to try to move himself from the situation.
No, not in those last couple seconds he didn't. He completely froze. But I think to show self-defense, it has to be in the moment. And you can't factor in what he did 10 seconds ago. It's at that moment, is your life threatened? Whatever led up to being there, yeah, it's, it sucks. But then couldn't we turn around and say they instigated the whole thing from the beginning? Where's their culpability in this?
Right. It's kind of like the law where if somebody enters your house and you feel a fear of your life, you can shoot them. But the minute that at least it is in Jersey.
It depends on the
state.
Minute
it depends. But I know in Jersey is the minute they turn their back on you and start walking out of the room or walking out of the house or going through the window and you shoot them, then it's considered manslaughter, So it's kind of like, yes.
In Tennessee, if you're on the property, you can be blown away. We had
How about that?
My neighbor had his landscaping company there, and they don't speak a lot of English. Some of the guys that I guess do the landscaping next door, they went to the wrong house and they came on our house and they were walking around in our yard.
Oh no.
Yeah. And Johnny confronted one of them and he's like, hey, he goes, you don't go in people's yards. You can get your head blown off. Of course, I'm kind of thankful that they probably didn't understand what he said. They're probably
listen,
okay, sir. And they walked away and probably didn't even know what he said,
Well, at least Johnny tried.
I do think he could have attempted to flee. That's the responsible thing. But I also have no clue how panicked I'd be if I had that many people surrounding me. Right. And in that moment, it's a whole different scenario than what it was 10 seconds ago. You know what I mean? I could go, sit there and call somebody names in their face and you could call me an instigator. But then...
he doesn't even say, leave me alone. He doesn't put his hands up, starts walking away, nothing. He's just...
Y'all, in Jersey,
just stunned.
You have to jump out of your window to flee, even if you know your family is in danger. Guess why? You're not allowed to protect yourself in New Jersey. You guys are all living in the wrong state. You're not allowed to have anything to protect yourself. You're going to jail, and you're going to jail if you even, beat the crap out of somebody that's entering your property. I keep clicking on this, and it's not working. Okay, Gina says, we can't imagine what he was thinking, but I would have just walked away. Nowadays, people are crazy, especially a bunch of drunk kids taunting him. Sure. But still, legally, I believe, he ends up getting convicted of a lesser degree reckless homicide. I think they got it wrong. That's my opinion. I think they're wrong. The video says it all. And and everybody gets in there. He punched a woman. You know what? It's not on the video. You could tell me till I'm blue in the face. And if you look, let me show you this. I'll talk to the crew while I get this up because I'm telling you.
Well, yeah, I didn't see it on the video either. The whole slap, punch, whatever that they, whatever day that you're talking about. But depending on whichever person's talking about. But
by the way,
I don't know. I just feel like.
Go ahead.
What?
Well,
oh my!
I'll pause this for you. I'm going to show you something when you're done. Go ahead.
I just feel like the reason why I thought the verdict was okay, because the fact is somebody did lose their life. I don't like that he was taunted. I found it, and I almost feel like it's unfair for him to even turn around and press charges on them for taunting him. But that's never going to fly in court because he's found guilty, right? But I just feel like it's a bad situation.
If a crackhead breaks into my house, and threatens my life and I shoot him because that person died, should I be responsible?
Well, according to Jersey, as long as he was going after you.
No, and just look morally. If I'm your best friend, so if some crackhead breaks into my house and is threatening me, and I blow his brains out because he died, should I go to jail?
And he didn't leave?
It doesn't matter. He's in my house. He's in my house. He's not supposed to be in my house. And he threatened me.
No, he's not supposed to be in your house.
What?
No, he's not supposed to be in your house, but I think you should verbally tell him to leave. And if he doesn't leave.
I don't have to by the law.
I know. But this is in Jersey, it's different.
No, morally, I'm asking you that question.
No, morally, I think you should ask him to leave.
Yes, Angel. Isaac lost his life because his hands were on Miu's throat. And by the way, the first person to ever touch Miu, besides the girls waving their arms all in his face, was AJ Martin. So, okay, let me play this for you about Madison. Madison never testified. She declined. You know why? Because she's full of crap.
Which one's Madison?
Madison is the girl in the bathing suit with the blonde hair that first walks over from the other group. She declined to testify. And it turned out that she had some, well, I'll just play it for you. Ready? Here we go. Listen to this, guys.
It's messy, isn't it, Matthew? How does this get sorted out for the jury? And I think for all of us at home struggling with not seeing her, and she's not on the video. How much do you think that might matter, Matthew, for the jury that this incident wasn't caught on tape?
Well, there's no question that jurors, like to see videotape that genuinely shows exactly what happened. There's a lot of videotape here, but yet there's no videotape of this encounter. We didn't get to see her, we didn't get to hear her, but the jury did. So the jury has that ability to determine her believability.
Just so you know, they didn't hear her in person. She declined to testify, but they heard a taping of her interview, and you're going to hear like a transcript.
Your credibility, and that's what every case comes down to. Do you believe what this witness is telling you? Is this witness credible? And they can make those judgments. We can't. We haven't had an opportunity to see it. But again, we have to remember that self-defense, is it reasonable? Is your conduct reasonable? Did you need to use lethal force? Did you believe you were in danger of serious bodily injury or death? And that's really what
the right here.
Through the first blow. So on direct, she said, he strikes me in my left side of my face with his left hand. And the question is, did he hit you with a closed fist or an open hand? She said, I can't remember. I thought it was with a closed fist. And the question is, you don't remember like seeing it coming in though? And she said, everything happened so fast. Then later on cross-exam, the question is, okay, so he throws it with his left. He throws a hook with his left hand, is that right? She said, yes. And he said, and I think you testified that he hit your left side of your face. She said, yes. The question is, okay, so he hit you on this side. Describe how that's humanly possible. Her answer, I actually do get my lefts and my rights mixed up a little bit. Okay, is that going to be a problem? Let's bring in our guest and talk some more about this. Criminal defense attorney and former elected district attorney Matthew Mangino. Oh, Matthew, what'd you think when you hear that?
Well, that doesn't sound good. It's not a good look. You obviously can't get hit on the left side of your face with a left hook. Now, she tries to explain it away by getting.
Okay. Do you hear that? Did you hear that? Yeah? You're frozen. Guys, can you hear Jocelyn?
Can you hear me now?
You are. Okay, did you hear that?
So I did. I was wondering, is it because, was he holding the knife at the time on his right hand?
He had the knife in his right hand, and she's saying he used the left hook to hit her left side right, which is impossible. Right. If he left hooked her, it'd be going like into her right side of her face. Right. And then to add to that, Anthony Carlson.
But a left. Oh no, yeah, that it would be a backhand slap if he did his left. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, no, so go ahead.
Anthony Carlson admitted on the stand that she never punched anybody. And then in the videos of Anthony Carlson on the day, do you want me to put that on? I can. It's up to you.
Is this the testimony?
No, it is him. It's Anthony Carlson, one of the friends, on the day of the actual. Hold on, pull it up. I've got time stamped here. No, it's on the day, the night of the incident. Like the police were talking to him outside of the hospital. Yeah.
Who videotaped it?
The police. It's like a body cam.
Oh, okay.
All right, so.
But he never testified.
No, he did. He did, and he also on the stand. Here, I'm going to show it to you.
On the stand, did he say that that she was hit?
I don't remember.
He said he admitted
A
on
lot,
the stand
but
that
what I remember from the start, we were just floating down the river, and we were all in our tube at that time. Well, not all of us. Some were just standing up in their tube because it was shallow water, and we just heard someone scream help, and Dad taught us, someone screams help, go help, and so my little brother ran over,
And your little brother is Dante.
Sorry, I apologize. Dante Carlson, he ran over, and as soon as I saw him run over, I got up and started to run over because this is my little brother. And when I got up out of my tube, my friend AJ Martin, the one that had his stomach sliced open, he ran with me, and he got there before me, and he tried to grab the guy, and the guy, I thought he just punched him, but he swung and sliced his stomach.
Okay, did you hear that? He said he grabbed the guy, and then that's when he leans in, because he's leaning in to grab him, which is an assault, right? And then he's got the knife in his hands, and he goes into him, and that's how he got so badly cut. And then I also have one more section I wanted to show. Okay, here we go.
Pushed his hand down. That's when it hit me right here, and I can't tell what's up to him.
It might be a little bit.
But yeah, and then they couldn't stitch it completely closed because otherwise it couldn't cause infection and such. So they just put 2 stitches in it and called it good. But yeah, no, they said that my ribs stopped the knife, I guess, from entering anymore.
Do you mind if I take a quick photo of that?
No, that's fine. You can talk about it in that interview, and I just want to make sure your dad told you to go over there, correct?
Sorry, what?
When you were in the tubes, before you went over to the other group, where there was a bunch of people that you said, right? Before you went there, your dad had told you something. Agreed?
Yes.
Listen.
And what your dad told you was, go make sure they don't attack that guy. That's what your dad told you.
I don't remember what he said exactly.
Okay.
They're all a bunch of liars. They're all changing their story now and everything. So they saw the kids being the problem and then went over there. They've all changed their story because somebody died and kids got stabbed, and it's horrible. And they also don't want to admit, they would have to admit what POSs they are. That's
it's true.
mean, think about how bad this makes them look. They're in the media. Switching over. They're in
let me ask you this. You don't think that he should be convicted at all? Is that your stance?
I think it was self-defense. He should have been acquitted.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think it's unfortunate, and my heart breaks for that mother. And all of them, just, nobody should have gotten hurt that day. But you know what? You don't act that way. You know, I raise my kids to be kind and to be respectful, and I'd be the first person to yank their butt out of that river if I saw them behaving the way these kids were.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I don't think there are a lot of parents out there that don't give a crap. And it's just, the whole world is changing so much in the way of parenting.
Yeah.
And
I would be super shocked if any of my kids actually catered to that behavior. I really would. I mean, I could see them bullying their friend before I could see them bullying a stranger.
Right.
But honestly, I just think the situation was terrible, and I don't know if I would. So I'm happy to hear that the judge did not give him consecutive years. They were allowed to be compounded. So basically, he got 20 years, all said and done.
He got 20
He already
years.
served 2, so he has 18 more to go, right? And he's 50, so he comes out when he's 50 something years old. So he comes out 70 something. That's if he lives that long, because it's not the best healthcare in the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I think it would have been fair if he got 10 years total, just because a life was taken, and because the fact is, I don't think he could have went as far as he went.
Nope.
I don't mind him defending himself. I just don't think I think the length that he went to defend himself was too far, and I think that's the reason why. We agree, Miu should not have been tried at all. Self-defense against a drunk and high mob.
He should not be. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
they started the whole thing, and
right.
And
I agree with that.
Visually see it. It actually enrages me that there is video showing this, and he's in jail. He's in jail for 20 years. Unbelievable.
Right. Well, that's because
I
think it just comes down to if you think. I think anybody believes that he should have self-defense. I think the question is, do you think he should have went as far as he went for self-defense? That's like, stabbing somebody. Like, let's say a perpetrator comes into your home, right? And you end up stabbing him 50 times. I don't know. Does that matter? I don't know. Like, to kill somebody, you stab them like 3 times to stop, but then you turn around and you stab them 50 times. But then you can always blame that's shock, right?
There are police officers that provide self-defense training and gun training, okay? And they all say, we should get a police officer on this show. We need a police officer. Anybody married to a police officer? Because let me tell you something. You're supposed to aim to kill.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not like he showed up with a gun. He showed up with a knife.
What is the difference? You need a weapon to do the job.
Because if he used the gun, I think if he used the gun, it was him saying that, like, use a gun to kill, right? But I think the fact he showed up with a knife, it was more intent to scare. I don't think he had any intentions to kill them. You know what I mean? Or kill. I think he just had intentions to scare them or to get away, in that sense. But he didn't do that. I think in the moment he was just like, defending himself, and he just went kind of crazy. He stabbed 5 people.
And because they started this whole mob.
I'm not denying the start.
Right. So why should he get any time?
Because I think what I'm denying him is how the length of his defense.
Mm-hmm. Angel, do you are you in any way connected to Mr. Miu? Like, are you a member of his family, or I'm just curious. Because I know you're on that group with me. I don't know anybody that's on the group. There's a group on Facebook that I'm a member of with her. Let me just get the name of it real quick, because if anybody wants to join it.
Oh, no, I definitely think he would go nowhere if he decided to fight him.
Apple River Trial of Nicolae Miu Facebook group, 590 members. I've been on there for a while. She's on there. And I was just always wondering, is there anybody on there that actually knows Nicolae Miu? I feel really bad for that man. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is the case. And I don't think we're going to hear the last of it. No connection to anyone in the case. Thank you for answering that. But it's just so angry. It makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Right? And
it's
then,
a tough one.
And they got, I guess people will just rationalize that, well, they got theirs. They shouldn't get any more punishment because many of them were stabbed. But many of them were not stabbed. They're laughing. They're egging it on. Did you ever see that Jodie Foster movie, The Accused, where she's raped on a pinball machine?
I don't remember it, but I did
and
see
they
it years ago.
prosecuted all these guys that were like in the bar that night, like clapping and saying, yeah. And
yeah.
What's the difference? They all should get something, especially if he does. Oh, I'm just sick to my stomach over this one. And you know what? I don't feel any better after we talked about it. I thought I would.
Right.
But I don't know.
But you feel even more heated, right?
Yeah, I'm angry all over again because I really hadn't paid attention to it for a while. We just did. Yeah, I've been concentrating on Dan Markel for like weeks and weeks now. That murder.
Well, let me get to Karen Reed then.
Okay, talk
real
about
quick.
Karen Reed.
First of all, the case was like
I don't know anything about Karen Reed. By the way,
is Tara on here? Did Tara? No. She usually
can't
comes
tell.
in on Jason. I know that she's really into it, but I wanted to see if she can confirm. I think it went like 30 days or 21 days. Crazy.
Long
anyway,
days.
so basically Karen Reed, so the basic premise of it was that the Commonwealth of Boston, not of Massachusetts, Commonwealth said that their statement was that they were out drinking, right?
Right.
They get into a really big, a big argument. She drops them off at a house, at a friend's house, and as she was leaving, she backs out of the driveway, hits him, and then leaves him for dead. Right? Now the defense, their whole premise is that, okay, that's true, they were out drinking. It's true they got into a fight, and it's true that she dropped him off. But she dropped him off and he walked into the house. Oh, not only that she dropped him off and she left, but she was framed. That's
what she
he went
says.
into the house. That's what she said. That's what that defense is. That she was framed. That he went into the house. That that with the evidence that they found and the lack of evidence and
what happened to him? You didn't say what happened to him for anybody who doesn't know.
Well, they're saying so. The state is saying that she backed up to leave the driveway. She backed up into him. No, they didn't run over him. She backed up into him, and he went flying 30 feet.
And she just like left him there. And wasn't it snowing at night?
It was starting to snow. Correct.
And she just goes home and goes to bed, and it's like no big deal.
Right. So they said that she knew about it, and then she goes home.
But then wasn't there an altercation?
Anyway, so the defense.
Wasn't there an altercation
the defense,
at the house?
Let me tell you what the defense.
Go ahead.
So basically, so they think that their defense is that she was framed, that he walks into the house, that he hung out with his friends, and that there must have been a fight or an argument, and then they placed his body outside to make it look like she hit him.
Okay.
And left.
So then what happened?
So that was basically the case. So now, moving forward, just to tell you the outcome, it was claimed a mistrial, basically because they could not agree. Believe it or not, they could not agree whether she hit him on purpose or she hit him and didn't know about it. So basically, that whole defense of being framed, they didn't believe it. The jury didn't believe it.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is like there's a lot of like things. There's a lot of little stuff in this case that you're like, that doesn't make any sense. How could you even think that? Because basically, so one of the biggest thing was her right tail light in her car was fractured off, right? But if you show videos, because the defense had a picture. And then they had the picture, and then the Commonwealth also submitted a picture of the actual taillight. So the defense submitted a picture of a taillight cracked, which was a picture after the incident, right? When the car got taken possession of, right? And then the new picture was like 3 days later, right, of the taillight, which is like completely off. Before it was just like a little fracture line, like a little triangle piece that came off, and then the Commonwealth submitted this picture where like the whole taillight has come off, and then they said that they had five people, what you call cops or detectives that night searching, combing the area for any evidence, and nobody found taillight pieces anywhere, not one.
Okay.
And 3 days later, they come up with 47 pieces of taillight.
Where did they find it?
Supposedly in the area.
Well, then
And
they went yeah.
But somebody could argue it was snowing, so maybe it melted, it got buried. But they said they even used a snow blower to
so they like snow blowed, got everything into a pile, and found all the pieces.
They were just saying when they were searching, because I guess maybe the snow was a little light, so trying to blow the first layers off or whatever. But they claim that because the snow kind of melted, and they can find it. But it just seems a little weird,
Yeah, that is.
Anyway,
what else?
So another thing is like, so the Commonwealth also says that her car had to be going 24.7 miles an hour in reverse because she, and they have this all documented through her Google and search from her phone. They were able to clock it, right? So she backed up doing 24.7 miles an hour. So that's pretty fast.
Life 360 kind of a thing where it tells you your speed.
Yeah, it tracks you and everything. Yeah. So, but supposedly she hits him at, she has a Lexus SUV, so a heavy car. She backs up at 25 miles per hour, and supposedly only hits his right arm. And he supposedly, after hitting his right arm, goes flying 30 feet after getting hit. And there's not a fractured bone. There's not a broken bone. And it just makes, and all the tail, and all the tail light pieces that they found, and the actual, on the car, the tail light that's there, not one evidence of blood or skin or anything on it.
Right. So that works.
It's like how's that not put doubt into your mind? Like, really? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So let me tell you other things. So now with the defense, they did hire, did they hire? I'm not sure if they hired or if it was the feds that did it. But basically they had an analysis, of course, and they're saying scientifically and physically, it's not possible to produce injuries on his right arm or his body because they also couldn't account for any he had like a scratch above his eye. He had other lacerations around his body, but they never explained any of those other injuries, just the right arm.
It could come either or. It could come from being in an accident with a car, and also if he was in a fight. No?
Right. So the funny thing with the whole fight thing is that I didn't catch who owns the house or who owns the home at the time. Okay. I think it was just a fellow police officer.
Okay, so I don't know a lot about that. You know more than me, but one thing I do remember distinctly about this case is I remember plugging into it for a short time and hearing that they were together with some guys at the bar before, and they went back to his house, and like it was like the joke was on them, like the joke was on him, like the husband wasn't really wanted there. And like it was a police officer's home, or maybe the police officer's friend home, and they all went back and they kind of didn't really want him there, and they were like a little hostile towards the guy. And then she had left because he was drinking and she was just done or something. She was like done with the night and wanted to leave. So she gave like a possible motive there by saying, well, they didn't really like him and didn't want him there that night. So, right? So what do you know about that?
They got in an argument and I just know that she drops him off because he wanted to go.
Angel, you should watch it. Everybody seems to be watching it, and I have not been paying attention. But we should do one next week on it because I heard it is really, really interesting.
Right. So anyway, so let me tell you some other things. So basically, another weird thing is that they have a dog, because there was also like a bite mark on him.
Mm-hmm.
They have a dog, and supposedly they get rid of the dog the next day. The dog goes away.
Dog the next day?
Not Karen. The people who own the house get rid of their dog.
Okay.
They get rid of their dog next, and then.
That's really
okay.
bad.
Let me back up. When they were investigating, and looking for clues around the victim, not once did they go into the house to search it.
Because it's a police officer's home? Because it's a police officer's home?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. I have to look it up. But they don't go into the house to search it at all.
Okay.
They just don't. Because according to them, he never entered it. Right? Why would you look? So not only did they get rid of the dog the next day, but supposedly they redo because they were hanging out. And supposedly when they had parties at the house, they have a basement that's done, right? So the party is always in the basement. They redo their basement floor and sell the house.
Oh my gosh!
Within a couple months.
So bad.
For undervalue.
Okay, yeah, I gotta watch the trial.
It's so sketchy. I cannot believe the jury actually did not even think that it's possible that she was framed. It was just crazy. Oh wait, so I'm trying to think what else.
That is so bad.
He had a nose injury. He had an injury to his.
By the way,
he has a nose injury. He has an injury to his tongue. There's a laceration above his right eye they can't explain.
What's his name? What's the victim's
back
name?
of his hand is bruised, and bruises on his right arm.
What is his name?
But who's that?
Karen. What is his name? The victim. Okay, I got it.
Oh, John.
Interesting. Why do I have this stupid thing here? Oh, I've got this other camera view. Okay.
And you know what's so funny?
Wait, what is this I pulled up? John, I effing hate you. Prosecutors released new DNA evidence. Messages revealing marital troubles implicating Karen Reed and cop boyfriend's death.
Yeah, this is the funny part. Listen to this. So there's a time there where they're texting back and forth, and she leaves voice messages, and this girl is brutal. She is
Karen?
like a raving lunatic. Yeah, she's a raving lunatic. Anyway, and one of the things that's part of the Commonwealth, they were just saying, who tries to contact their boyfriend 57 times or something to that effect, right? And I'm like, this bitch would.
Wait a minute, when were these calls from? Right before the murder? Or
no, so when she drops him off, supposedly when she drops him off to the time that now she's worried, whatever, until she goes out and tries to find him, there's 53 text messages or voicemail. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you got to hear some of these voice messages that she leaves on for him, and she's just that. She'll be like that. I effing hate you, John. You mother effer. She is
oh really
crazy,
that bad?
Right?
I'm hoping they play them here. Hold on, wait. I'm trying to see if I can get them. Wait a second. Let me see.
Massachusetts State Police.
I'm trying to see if.
So wait,
jurors heard explicit voicemails that Reed left for John O'Keefe. As WBZ's Penny Kmet shows us in those messages, Karen Reed accused John O'Keefe of cheating on her.
8 voicemails sent by Karen Reed to John O'Keefe's phone in the hours after his death.
She means business.
Court this morning. You can hear Karen telling John she hates him and accuses him of cheating on her.
John, I'm going home. I cannot babysit me. I need to go home. You are with me right now. Other girl, you sleeping next to me. You're a loser. So
that's all you hear is beep.
Okay. All right, so
I mean, it's really kind of funny.
We know people like that.
So this is the latest news. Listen, the latest news. So basically, the jury called it a mistrial because they couldn't agree, right? So now, then the new court date's going to be come January next year, but so 5 juries so far have come forth.
Okay.
And they all have said the same thing, that they said that they all 12 agreed not guilty on counts 1 and 3, and what really was the mistrial was the manslaughter. So there was like 9 and 3. So 9 people. So basically they were saying like 9 people believed that she hit him, but they couldn't agree whether she did it on purpose or she did it by accident. And that's why it would turn out to be a mistrial, which I'm like, oh my God. So that really means like nobody actually thought it was, I mean, it's not.
What do you think? I mean, I hear those voicemails and I hear a pretty hostile woman. So.
Oh, for sure.
You think she
did
it.
But the evidence doesn't make, I'm all about the evidence. I don't care
me too.
what she says or does.
Sure.
So I feel like the evidence doesn't line up. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, but that's pretty bad. I mean.
And even the what you call the science guy, he was just like the body projecting 30 feet from a hit in the arm with such little damage with the arm. It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like you can't produce those kind of injuries with a 7,000-pound car going at a 25-mile-an-hour speed. It's just so I feel like, okay, that's it. That's all I need to know. You know what I mean? Because science is true. It makes sense.
Do you know when they're going to retry her, right?
Well, right now, the defense put in the defense put in actually today with the judge, and it's Judge Bev or something like that. But to I guess to find out whether like what steps he has to take so that they don't have double jeopardy on counts 1 and 3.
Okay. That happened today.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So that happened
today.
That was today. All right. So we'll cover it, but we'll pick it up when the next thing happens. You're right. Karen Reed jurors called prosecutors to say they wanted to acquit. Oh.
Because they're saying it's double jeopardy if you try to put them in, try to do it again.
So are you all still with me?
So
make sure.
And the funny thing is that.
Go ahead.
Let me just one more thing with Karen thing is that, really Judge supposedly when I know it's really bad. Supposedly Judge Bev didn't really explain to the jurors how to really. I guess figure out whether it's guilty or not guilty, because they could have definitely said not guilty on counts 1 and 3 and mistrial on count 2, but they never do that. They just say mistrial.
Okay.
Because they weren't guided correctly. Really, what it comes down to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like locking up and stuff. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I wanted to say.
Can you hear me though?
I can hear you great. It's just your face is freezing up on me.
Okay.
And it's probably freezing up because I can actually see it on the other laptop. So yeah, we'll do Karen Reed, but let's wait till there's like another thing that happens with her in the news, and then we'll pick that up. What I'd really love to do is talk about the Pike County massacre from Pike.
Right, the one we spoke about last time.
Yes, guys.
Yes. Okay.
Please read about it. I'm going to give you exactly. You guys are going to freak when you hear this case. 2 families. It reminds me of the Hatfield and McCoys. A Pike County massacre. Look up the Pike County massacre. It is 2 families that have been friends forever. They both live on these like vast, large pieces of land with lots of houses on each one, and they're all friends. And one of the sons from one family began dating the daughter from the other family, who ended up having a baby together. They break up and they start fighting over the baby. And then one family goes and kills the entire family of 8. 8 people.
It's crazy.
It's insanity. I mean, how many?
It's just crazy. That is, and
Dude.
what
And it's an
state is this in?
This is Ohio.
Ohio.
So listen, so the reason why I want to talk about it is because it's kind of like the Dan Markel case, because some have been already tried and put away, but the dad from the one family is still coming up. And it's really the Wagner family. The Wagner and Roden families. George Wagner still has to have his trial, and it's like another Donald Adelson, if you know that case. Angela, she's the matriarch of this family, and she was driving this family to go and wipe out the whole other family because they wanted to have this baby live with them and not have anything to do with the baby's mother or that entire family. And the thing is they said, well, why kill them all? At one point, one of the sons said, why do we have to kill them all? It's because the minute you go and kill her, they're all going to come after us. So we just got to wipe them all out. So you guys have got to read up on this case, because we're gonna cover it. We're gonna cover it Thursday. You good Thursday or?
No, I think we're gonna do it Friday.
Friday's good. Okay, so we'll do it Friday night.
Friday afternoon.
Friday afternoon, we'll do it. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be a nice change. We can go on in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to take maybe more than one episode for this one. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not. We'll talk about it. But you guys, whoever's on here right now, make sure you subscribe, share the channel,
and like it.
And like it.
And like.
And like. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's not working. Every time I go to try to do it. So
I know Command 1 is our names.
Ladies, you have no idea how hard. There it is. Yeah, I did it. Angel's like, wow, girl, you thought Miu was bad. You should listen, Angel. We just started our podcast a little while ago. We're like best friends since childhood, and I just decided to try to go call her up and be like, hey, let's do this true crime podcast, because we love to just chit chat and stuff. And our first case was on Dan Markel. He was a Florida FSU law professor. Go watch that episode. It's a little rocky because those are our first ones, so maybe you want to read up or watch the 2020 Dan Markel, Wendy Adelson show. It was on.
It's a good one.
It is a really good one, and it's on YouTube in parts, like in 6 parts, I think.
Right.
Try to find it on your regular TV. So that's a really good one, but don't pay attention to our first episode because it was kind of rocky. Right? But the Piketon, and I've always wanted to cover the Murdoch murders, but it's so old now.
It's so old.
I'm kind of waiting for something to happen with it, because but I was invested in that case for ever. At the same time as this Miu case, I was really sucked into the Murdoch case.
You can do a recap like I did with Karen Reed.
We could do a quick recap of. Yeah. She goes, yes, I agree. So yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
hopefully,
so we'll see you guys Friday. You'll come on.
Yep. What time are we gonna go on? You have any? I'll just let you guys know. Watch my channel.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you know. And if you can't get on it, then you can always rewatch the episode later. Okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Oh my gosh, Lynn, I think that was all recorded. And we were still on live. I think it was. I just looked and we weren't muted when you said that.
I just read exactly what it said on here. We'll have to go back to our recording.
Wait, I can rewind it right here. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, rewind it. On the air. You're in a broadcast. It says we're in a broadcast.
Oh, whoops. Bye.